London's fine dining scene is incredible, especially when it comes to African cuisine. But it often doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Even Hollywood A-listers have noted how overlooked African restaurants are by food critics.
Food cultures that I think is massively underrepresented at the fine dining level is food of African origin.
In this new series, I'll be showcasing some of the best African restaurants in London. Let's give them the spotlight they deserve. Stay tuned. Wow. Do you know what? This makes me so proud to be African. It really does, man. Today, we're about to dive into something truly special. Chuku's, the home of Nigerian Tapas. This place is all about bringing the flavors, culture, and vibes of Nigeria to London food scene. And I can't wait to take you along on this experience. From the jollof rice to the plantain waffles, we're about to explore the bold and exciting tastes that have made Chuku's a must-visit spot. Enjoy. Ladies and gents, we are in Chuku's. I've gone behind enemy lines. My fellow Ghanaians, it's only for one day only, man. I'm not cheating on you. But yeah, we are at Chuku's. It is a contemporary sort of Nigerian restaurant, and they serve Nigerian food in tapas style, in a tapas form. I'm here with my good friend Shay, who is half Nigerian, half Jamaican. And yeah, man, we're just gonna take a look at the menu, and the menu already is still kept to the tradition of Nigeria, and keeping it true to the Nigerian heritage, you know. So when I first heard tapas, I thought it might be a bit of a Spanish influence, but it's just the style, the way they present the food and the way they serve the food. So yeah, man, it's got a nice sort of African feel, with like a modern African feel. And we've ordered palm wine to start off with, so it's very fitting. Sweet but strong.
Yeah.
Sweet but strong. This is one of them creepers.
That palm wine smell to it as well.
Yeah. You know, gone are the days when you used to go to African restaurants and used to just be bench, couple tables, and white walls. Them days. Some of those ones are what holds the powerful food. But gone are the days. But I love this for Africa, man. It's good. You know, we're getting on the food scene. Earlier in the day, before the restaurant opened, I managed to catch up with the owners of Chuku's. Yes, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Thanks for having me. Come on. Ready for some food.
Yeah.
Meet brother and sister Emeka and Ify, the founders and owners of Chuku's. I love this restaurant, and it's got a lot of character, like a contemporary feel as well. You know, what inspired you to start Chuku's?
Emeka and I grew up on the border of East London and Essex, and we're talking about, I think the landscape of London was very different then, and the cultural landscape of London was very different then. So, you know, roll back 20 years, Afrobeats wasn't a known thing. Being of African heritage wasn't particularly cool, and there was very little interest in African culture beyond those who were of African heritage themselves.
Right.
And so as a result, we grew up not really having spaces to share our culture, and not really having ways for which our friends maybe could access our culture. We started Chuku's essentially because we wanted to create a place that would allow both those in the diaspora and those beyond the diaspora to share and celebrate in the culture, and basically be able to experience Nigeria here in London without necessarily needing their passport.
Right, so the food has arrived. The food is here, man. Where they chop. This is where you come to chop and chill like a real Oga, like a real Igwe chief. And so we got the egusi, which is like different types of stews with, this is with cassava balls, isn't it? Rolled up. Eba, they call it eba. You know what I mean? This is what gives you the power. 9 rounds. 9 rounds. And this, I've had eba before, and normally it's like the stews are very punchy. The eba's quite sour, but with the sweetness of the stew and the eba, it goes well together. But this has been recommended by Time Out London, believe it or not. It's one of those showstopper dishes. Then we've got yo-yo, and it's crispy bit of fish there. You can see it, it's crispy bit of fish right there. And that's not too bad. So spice fried white bait. It's a vibe, you know. Sweet chili with the crispiness of the white bait actually goes really well. It doesn't feel like you're eating fish. It's like almost like chicken tenders. It's been well seasoned.
By the way,
And apparently it says here, and I love the fact that they put in the menu that a street food delicacy from the coastal towns in southwest of Nigeria. So this is a very typical delicacy in the southwest of Nigeria. This is really nice, man. And the kuli kuli wings. The kuli kuli wings. And I think it's been sprinkled with kuli kuli. It's like peanut. Okay. No. Take one. I like it. You get that nutty, sweet, peanutty flavour of the kuli kuli, the peanut, and then that sweet marination around the chicken wings. It just bangs. It's unreal, unbelievably tasty. But as you can see, you see the contemporary take that they've done with these dishes. And normally African food is in your face, it's quite overwhelming, but because it's in small plates, it's easy to like digest with the eyes as well. It's not too overwhelming, it's not too daunting, which I really like. It's actually quite a vibe. The presentation, it has got that tapas feel. You know, me and my friend, we're sharing the dishes as we go. It's got that vibe, it's unreal. How have you managed to keep the authenticity of Nigeria in your cuisine whilst trying to present it in more of like an European way? Because the tapas thing, I think it's a smart idea. It's like it's not too overwhelming, because you know African food, when you see it, you're like, whoa, what do I do with this? Do you know what I mean? You know, you got fufu in your face, then you got, you know, pounded yam, then you got this. So how have you, how have you managed to preserve its traditions?
Yeah, as you say, look, if you don't know anything, it can be intimidating. And so what we thought is that actually one of the best ways when something can be seemingly overwhelming because you're unfamiliar with it is just to give you a little bit to start with.
Of course.
So it was a combination of us wanting to make sure we're gonna really pay attention to the way that we go around plating the food, but actually we're gonna just give people just a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Nigeria is super diverse culturally, and thus, as a result, its culinary options is super diverse. And so whilst we wanted to give people a little bit of something, we wanted to give them lots of little things. And at the same time, want to pay attention to the plating. And as we kind of sat down, it kind of just reminded me of some of my experiences of when I was in tapas restaurants, tapas bars in Spain. And so essentially, instead of having a concept which is Nigerian food done with small sharing plates, which gives you lots of options and in a boisterous atmosphere and it's pasted, we just took this one word, tapas, and wanted to use that. So it's almost like a common language, but ultimately I think it's so important for that, because some people think that what we've tried to do is a fusion, and actually it wasn't. It is rooted in Nigerian social dining culture, It is rooted in the fact that Nigerian food food options are diverse and the culture is super diverse. And then we're thinking about how do we translate that, how do we get that across?
Right.
And then we start thinking about what are the terminology so that people can, as Ife said, access it, because that was the problem.
So basically, it's rice. This is rice pancakes served with a pumpkin peanut stew. And apparently it's inspired by founders that travel to the northern part of Nigeria. So as we're eating this, we're getting a bit of an educational journey. Do you know what I mean? You see that Guinness in the background. That's how you know this guy is Nigerian. You know what I'm saying?
All the meat and some rice.
Okay. Alright, let's go.
I agree. The more I think about it,
Wanna munch now?
everyone's the plant-based stuff. That's when you can try if they want or not, and then you choose the meat kind of option you would like. So personally, if you want,
It's an interesting mix.
and then we try the whole.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix because you get a bit of sweetness with savoury. So it's like
Bread and stew.
yeah, it's like bread and stew, but it's almost like a pancakey. You know, the thick pancakey sort of vibe. It's actually quite nice. It's a bready, doughy type of texture, and if you can see it right there, this is it. It's got that bready type of texture, but there's the sweetness. Yeah, it's not too sick.
Stew balances it well. So for instance, this stew here,
Initial stages of doing the restaurant, there was a challenge which was, are we going to be seen as being Nigerian enough? And I think that was partly born down to our own searches for our identity and grounding in that. And then also sometimes the way that I think it's potentially a diasporic, at least African diaspora thing, of that the way that we get corrected, which is not necessarily always the most respectful. And I think anybody who has greater knowledge in somewhere else in a topic, the way that they should then be imparting their wisdom should be quite a respectful way of the corrections. And so that was a particular concern. Will we put something out here and then be derided, chided? That very quickly disappeared.
Right.
Very quickly, and that was, we had to be vulnerable with that because it was a concern. The community took to what we were doing.
Everything, you know what, the flavours at Chuku's is bold and unapologetic, but presented in a way where it's got more of an European vibe, which is an absolute vibe, man. And it's, like I said, it's easy for everyone to digest. It's not too overwhelming, it's not daunting. I'm loving this dish right now, man. My boy's dancing. He's happy, everyone's happy. You got some African tunes playing at the background. It's a vibe. It's an absolute vibe. What does the future hold for Chuku's?
I think we've got a lot of plans, but I think in the very much the near focus is having another restaurant, another Chuku's, another Nigerian Tapas restaurant. Our mission is very clear. We want to change the way that the UK and the world more widely think about Africa. And the first thing we want to do is do that through food, showcasing Nigerian food and really putting it on the map. So, we need to do that. Right. We need to put the food on the map, take it across the country. We have started in this corner of North London. London's a big city. We need to spread our wings and get across the city, and then we need to get across the UK. So, we hope if you're watching this and you're in the UK, that in the near future there'll be a Chuku's restaurant somewhere near you that you'd come and frequent.
Wow. Do you know what? This makes me so proud to be African. It really does, man. It really does. It's stepping up, man. It's time we gain some recognition because the food in Africa is good.